Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing fine. Today, I'd like to talk about something that's been on my mind for quite a while, and that is appearance. We judge people by their appearance. We judge ourselves by our appearance. And it can turn into a mind game within ourselves. Let's sit here and look at me right now. Okay, I have these glasses, of which, yeah, they're pretty nice glasses and stuff, but they are just readers, you know. I need them to read paper, to read what's a book, emails, things like that. Okay, you know, every time I go to the barber, they tell me how thick my hair is and how nice it is, but again, it's pretty gray. A few years ago, I used to joke with them that could they just cut the gray out and leave it, but now for them to cut the gray out, I'd be one of those individuals that shaves their head. And within this discussion, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I just want to elicit thoughts about what we think about ourselves, what we think about other people, how we should respond to other people. So with that being said, again, okay, looking at me, and I have, okay, so said noting within all of my videos are raw, unedited, and that little flop right there will be in the video. So partly I do it for a reason, as to, you know, I'm human. Shit happens. We make mistakes. I might say something that someone might not like. I don't do it on purpose. Could be just the fact of the way I was raised or something. I just didn't think before I spoke. Again, I'm human. I make mistakes. I don't say it on purpose, and you're welcome to call me on it if I do say something and stuff. Again, I'm human. But back to appearance, you know, I'm part of a few groups on social media, and appearance is a big issue. And it's a big issue within my own life. You know, if you follow me, know my story and stuff, yeah, I have a lot of scars. Okay, I am a 3-finger for the most part. You know, I have this much of my ring finger, but that is how much that finger moves. Coming up on 5 years on my accident, I got not as much range of motion within my thumb or my pinky, and let's talk about scars. I have scars that run from here all the way up to here, and on that side I have scars through here. You might not be able to see them. Scars around here. Again, doing all this by myself, so you can't see everything, but right through there, what's there is grafted skin. Came from my right hip area. I've had 3 skin grafts, so it looks like they took a cheese grater to my hip. It's getting better, but there's still a difference in skin tone and stuff. Within parts of that is grafted skin. The initial accident, I had my index finger pulled off right here at the MP knuckle. My middle finger was one joint out, and my ring finger was another joint out, but they were degloved, meaning it took everything. It took tendons clear from my elbow. And they grafted skin over my bones, first surgery, and the doctors did all of this. They cut my arm open to get as much blood flow to my hand and stuff to prevent other issues, being compartment syndrome and stuff like that. Early on, my surgeon and I had a little bit of a struggle. About 2 weeks after my accident, I was in seeing him, and it was my first bandage change. And it did not go well. And my surgeon told me, he goes, you know, you need to accept things. You need to accept this accident and move forward. And I looked at him and I go, Doc, I accept it. I know my fingers are missing, they're not growing back or anything like that. But what I don't want to accept is you give me a picture today that's this big, and 6 months down the road, this is the picture I get. Of ultimately, it was 8 months down the road, and this is the picture I get. 8 months of trying to save as much as possible. I went in to him and said, Doc, it's not working. You need to take it away. And let me tell you, even though it's not working, it's a part of you. It's a limb. And that in itself was a struggle. I knew it wasn't doing me any good. It was getting in the way. And I struggled with that for a little bit. But since that day, it gave me so much more. Those fingers, what was there that got removed, wasn't working at all. I mean, you can see how much my ring finger moves now. This part of it did not move at all. So think of it that much longer, not moving. And my middle finger, same thing. It just sat there. I could maybe get it to wiggle a little bit, but that was it, and it got in the way of things. I still have challenges with not having as much range of motion in all of what I have left, But go back to early on, I struggled with appearance to other people. I protected people. I hid my arm for a long time because of the scars. And I wanted to protect you as the individual from the ugliness of my scar. And so I always had it wrapped, protected, out of sight as much as possible until a friend reached out and asked if she could see it. And when she did, she looked at me, and I had made an offhanded comment to her that, don't freak out. It's pretty ugly and stuff. And she looked at me after seeing it. She goes, "It's not as bad as I thought it would be." And that in itself was so critical. It tore down the curtain I had put up, protecting the world from me, protecting me from the ugliness of my scar, or scars, multi. But also, people look at me, and everyone I meet looks at me differently. Some people look at me and they go, "Oh, you're just missing a couple of fingers, that's no big deal." In fact, surgeon kind of told me that not that sharp, but once you heal up and stuff, you need to get out, live life again, and go on. And people don't realize the struggle that us as partial hand amputees have. Fingers. Your fingers do so much. And, I'm just going to throw, I don't know all the numbers, but I'm going to throw a few numbers out there on impairment. And impairment is not disability. It's how much your body is impaired from being 100%. So a leg amputee on a total body impairment is 40%. But if you lose 2 legs, it's not 80%. It's 40% for the first leg, and 40% of that 60% that's left. So it'd be 24%. So you'd be 64% there. Upper body is a different story. You do so much more with your hands in everyday activities. You're sitting at a desk. What are your legs doing? They're just sitting on the floor. Yes, not taking anything away. You walk, legs do a lot for you, but your hands do a lot more. So upper body, your arm on a total body impairment rating is 60%. And again, if you lose both, it's not 120%. You can only go to 100. So it's 60% of that residual 40%, which would work out to be, I think, 84% if you were missing both arms. Well, in my situation, I am on a total body impairment rating at 37% at the current time, which is almost equal to a full leg. But You know, again, I've lost a pound in weight, maybe. It's very little, but the struggle is in everything I do with my hand and how I have to work through each task. Think about everything. For 53 years, everything just came quick and easy. Now I have to sit and look at every task. And with that being said, let's go back to an appearance for a minute. So, on the lighthearted side of things, I joke that able-bodied people are shortchanged because they only have 2 hands, and within myself, I'm up to 5 hands now and 13 and a half fingers. This right here is my myoelectric hand, which is way cool, you know, in the sense that it turns me into a cyborg. I mean, I can move the fingers to whatever position I want, but let's look at things. Look at the length of these fingers. They are like an inch longer than my normal fingers. And so in grasping things, they grasp things differently. I mean, there's good points and bad points. Another limitation is a 30-pound weight limit. And yes, I can flip the bird too. It takes some mind control to get things to work, of which right now it doesn't want to reset for me. So all I can do is sit there and flip the bird. But again, the thoughts, they're so much different. They're so much longer. I got batteries here. I got weight limits. All of that involved. So take that off. Put it away. Here's my other hand. And this hand, it's way cool. Titanium fingers, rubber tips for gripping and everything. They are a lot closer to my real length. And I have gotten used to this over the years. I've had these fingers for almost 4 years now, and I can pretty much almost without thinking just react and do stuff, and they are great. They lift a few 100 pounds each, weak point being carbon fiber shell typically. But again, they're not natural. Let's go back now to appearance, and I'm doing general question of appearance for anybody with a challenge. And that challenge could, a physical challenge, let's call it. You know, you see people in wheelchairs, birth defects, both neurological or physical, and we judge ourselves so much now. Looking at a person and you meet them just on the street in a convenience store or something like that, you see a person in a wheelchair and we look at them and look away. We don't want to make eye contact, you know. We're curious. What happened? Were they born that way? Did they have an accident? Who knows? We could come up with 1,000 different stories, you know. Or did they get hit by a drunk driver? Were they the drunk driver? You know, there's so many things out there, but, you know, now's the time to bring things to light. You see that individual in the wheelchair in the convenience store, and, you know, I can't say this for everybody because we're all different, and we're all at different stages. If the individual is has accepted their condition and stuff, they probably would welcome you rather than looking at them and looking away and looking away. They'd probably welcome, if they aren't in a hurry or something, you to come up and ask them, you know, hey, what happened? Were you born that way? Did you have an accident? Versus the looking and looking away. You know, I would prefer that. I've had people ask. In fact, probably the best way I have ever had someone ask me what happened, it was presented to me this way. It was at a convenience store. It was the checker. And he goes, do you mind me asking what happened to you? No, I don't. And I told him, you know, I was in an industrial accident and my fingers got pulled off. That being said, oh, I'm sorry, you know. And there was no harsh judgment or anything like that. Us as humans, my accident has humbled me a lot, where I have empathy for everybody, and I haven't had to walk in anyone else's shoes, just my own. And so I try to not judge people, you know. If they look at me, look away, look at me, look away, okay, that's fine. You know, I'm not lose any sleep over it. If you come up to me and ask me a question, I'll tell you, you know. And, you know, if I'm in a hurry, I will say, you know, sorry, I'm in a bit of a hurry here. This is what happened. I wish I could spend more time and tell you the full story stuff. But we need to accept ourselves and not judge each other off appearance. You know, I've heard stories about individuals within my realm missing fingers and stuff, and one story was an individual that had this type of prosthetic and they quit wearing it because people were always talking about the prosthetic. and they wanted them to be talking about them and not this. Have compassion for people and be open and honest and not rude, you know. This is a time where so much is volatile on appearance, and I don't want to take anything away from anything else that's going on in this world right now. This is just another thing for us to take the time to think about and to love each other a little bit more. Bring in, bond some more, you know. Come together. For so many years, we've all heard the stories of, you know, kids being born with congenital birth defect and getting thrown in an orphanage, or, you know, locked away in the closet or something like that. You know, they have some mental issues or something like that, and the parents can't take care of them, so they just throw them away. Now is the time to let everybody come out of the closet and be whole individuals. And we all need to respect everybody as an individual and love them and take it at that. With that being said, I want everyone to know how much I love them and I'm happy. And, you know, if you can help out my organization, Jeff Giving a Hand, which actually the logo you see here is this right here. Help us out, please. And love everyone. Keep living life. I love you guys, and we will talk later.